Okay, before I start the review here, I just want to say sorry for missing the Star Wars review Monday. We were at the tail end of being sick here at the house, and work got really chaotic, so I went back to work still not feeling well. Anyway, we're going to talk about the first of the three Bantam AVP novels with AVP Prey by Steve and Stephanie Perry. Now, this is an adaptation of Randy Stradley's original comic series with a few additions. The big addition is more character development, specifically with our Yautja. All of our Yautja pretty much get named, with our main character being Dashinde, and our main antagonist Yautja of the young students being Dashinde or Dishinde. And that's a little confusing, but you get used to it after a while reading. Michiko Noguchi gets more backstory with having. I wouldn't even necessarily say it was daddy issues. Her daddy, father, unalived himself when she was young, and she was drawing this picture of a dragon for him, and she associates that with the xenomorph, which is kind of weird, but I'll take it. It's a little more. Machiko is still a great character. We get more with the pilots from the beginning that really exist solely just to have chest bursters, but we get a little more character development with them, as well as with some of the ranchers. In fact, we actually get a LGBT plus. Stop, Cleo. Leave that alone. We have an LGBTQ plus relationship in the 90s, which is kind of interesting, between two women um, who are trying to start a family, and one of them is part of the cover up of the initial xenomorphs infecting the Rinth that the ranchers decide to do. So that's neat. But it basically follows the same plot as the original novel. Sorry for the delay there. We had quite a few birds that nest here in the evening that just disrupt everything. So please bear with me here. And everyone, the cats also want to be fed. It's about their feeding time. So that's why they're running around. Anyway, what did I think of this book? Well, I actually have two copies of it, so that should indicate. I have an original first print copy that came in a lot of novelizations I bought, along with Alien's Nightmare Asylum, I believe, also came in that lot. And I also have this 3-in-1 from Titan Books, which has, this one's Prey, it has Hunter's Planet, and War. Um, it's interesting reading this because this is the first time we really got Yautja culture. I mean, we got a little bit in Predator 2, and it kind of lines up well. They're more primal in this rather than analytical like they are in the Predator 2 novelization. So that's neat, and I think adds a lot to this book. I personally, out of all the Bantam adaptations of Dark Horse comics, I think this one's the best. This is well thought out. It doesn't have to change things like with the Aliens novels where they had to change character names, or for some reason the Predator novels they changed things. I'm not sure why. It didn't. Predator 2 didn't affect any continuity with the comics, so I don't know what the point of that was. But anyway, that they moved up the timeline on those, at least the John Schaefer ones. And then with Enoch Nakai, they add like a weird twins spirit world subplot that's kind of nonsense. So this, I like that it's a straight adaptation, and we didn't have to compromise the story. And what Stephen Stephanie Perry add to this novel, um, really makes the story just that much better. I would give this a solid 5 out of 5. This is what you want from an AVP story. It's partly to do with Randy Stradley, but I think they just Stephen Stephanie Perry make it that much better. So, as we move forward, I'll be still doing Aliens comics every other week, but AVP is going to drop off for a little while because basically I just have the only thing I have left before I'm officially like what's a good word for it? Before I'm like tapped out and I have to get through alien stuff because AVP War, both the comic and the novel, are sequels to the alien story Berserker. I have to get there in the Aliens omnibuses, and that's not even till the third Alien omnibus. It's not even the second one. So I'm going to try to drive through those two omnibuses, but in the meantime, you'll get other stuff that isn't necessarily AVP related. I will do Hunter's Planet sooner rather than later, but don't expect that in the next 2 weeks. There'll be some other science fiction and just plain fiction books that I've been meaning to review for a little while now, that I now have a slot for those. So, and they won't all necessarily be IP stuff. In fact, don't expect a lot of IP stuff alternating with Aliens for a little while, unless it's AVP. Maybe Halo. I have one Halo book in the works right now. So don't worry. I know a lot of you liked Halo: The Fall of Reach, my review of that. There's more Halo coming. Don't you worry. But I think we'll probably start with Heinlein's Starship Troopers, I think, and then go from there. So, anyway, have a nice day.